Right, here at Geek Towers, we've got the 10.25 Android screen to go into the BMW F31 and I assume the F30 as well. It does look a lot bigger, so hopefully it's going to go in. There's a lot of guys out there doing their own videos, all these professionals. We're not by any means, to be fair. This is purely for entertainment value, so if you do anything that we've done and you knacker things up, it's not our fault. We're going to try not to edit too much and just see how we get through it. So if we can do it, then surely any amateurs out there can do it as well. So, right, let's crack this on then. I'll put that down there. Do you want to do honours? So what we're doing first, it's the... Need to take this off, don't we?
Yeah, the heat vent comes off first. It should just pull out. No screws.
No, they should. And then I've heard we've got to be careful down at this part here because it's quite thin. So I nearly thought I broke it then. Right. So now,
as you pull it out, there is a cable on the hazard warning switch, and that should just pop out there. I'll put that to one side, and then there is another sensor for the heating.
Can you see that?
Yeah, it's just... There we go. So that's it. That's that bit done.
First bit's done well.
And then you just put the screen in there, don't you? And that's it.
Yep, that's it.
Right, so next bit, there should be around the stereo some torque screws. I believe there's some under here actually as well, which we have forgotten about. Does that just pop out?
I think it does. Yeah. So that just pops out nicely.
Yep. And first thing we've run into with this car being a cop car is the screws are different. It's been out before.
So one thing probably to mention is that this actually used to be a police car. So we may end up coming across a couple of stuff that's not usual. The first thing being, we've got normal screws down at the bottom. So have we got a screwdriver?
Yeah, man. I don't know where the rest of the things are there. I think put them in the back.
As you can see, I'm just playing the lovely assistant here, to be fair.
Just normal posies these, in case you guys are...
Yeah, if you guys are doing a police car as well. Or it may be that they're just different.
Yeah, maybe just because it's
the one that we watched was an American one, wasn't it?
Yeah. They're two very different screws.
Yeah.
Right. So as you pull the panel off, there will be another connector just on this back corner. So that should just pull out. He says. Nope. It's just been a bit stubborn. There's no release clip on it or anything. It's just.
Should we just leave it dangling?
Well, you need to pull this out, don't you? Hang on. Right, we'll use my handy pick tool, which might just get in here.
Yeah. See, I suppose this is one of the reasons why we're doing the video, because that came out really easy on the other one.
Yeah. It's just... I suppose I could just leave it down at the side of me. I don't want to break it trying to get it.
That's what I'm thinking.
This is your car, dude, not mine.
Yeah, exactly. Nice.
I've just put it to it, so I just don't want it to scratch your dashboard, that's all.
Well, I was thinking.
Right, that'll do. Out of the way.
Cowboys, you see. That's what it is.
Right, so then the head unit needs to come out. Do you want a cloth or anything over this so it doesn't scratch it? Because it needs to sort of... Right, so yes, so we're going to take the main head unit now. So there's a couple of torque screws left and right. It is quite sharp, so what we're just going to do is put a bit of cloth over the centre console to make sure it doesn't scratch, because you do dangle it out of the way for the bit while you put in the replacement wiring loom. Just put that up there for the time being. And do these two.
This is a bit way forward wind. Might just forward wind my bit, so it looks like I'm quicker.
Right, so just pull that out. Right. So what you're doing is the replacement wiring loom with the kit goes in line with this quad lock here. That just lifts off and it just comes out like that. Okay, that's it. Now what needs to occur, I believe, you are okay, you don't have it. So some of the Beamers have an optical system for the audio which goes in these 4 holes here. What you would do with the replacement system is you would unclip that and put it into the other end, so you'd have this at the other side of the new cable. So what we need now is said new cable, which is here. So yeah, so this is the other end of the cable. So this is what goes back into your stereo, and you can see where the optical connection would be with these 4 holes. So you would just need to move that, as the loom doesn't have the optical link in it. So I believe that white bit goes up there, doesn't it?
But being computer guys, I know that nothing ever works straight out at bat. Do we want to test out the screen first?
Yeah, that would probably be a reasonable suggestion. So it's that end, when you put it in the right way around, that goes in there, he says. Nope.
Nope. I think it comes up first, doesn't it?
It was already up, wasn't it?
No, but you need to unlock it.
I thought I did.
Yeah, I think it locked as it went back down again. Once again, they made it look very easy, this part.
There we go. That's it.
That sounds better.
Do you want to do that side, don't you?
What do you want me to do? This one here?
That one and that one just need to go together. So you'll need to unlock it. Clearly noticed you did something there.
The car just made an odd noise.
Right, so this goes into the only socket that will fit in under there. So
I assume it's that way. And I assumed wrong, it's that way.
okay.
Yep.
Where is ignition on this?
Yeah. Don't it need power?
Huh?
Don't it need power?
Isn't that that is the power?
No, isn't it? Okay.
There you go. We have something. What's this?
Is that how much fuel I've got left as well?
Yeah, 22 litres of fuel. Now that's cool, I like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Right.
You can tell Ramage is kind.
Whether a bus or a plane, or a car or a train.
I don't know what's playing.
No other girl.
There we go.
Yeah.
Shut up. So, we've checked the screen.
Yeah, all working and powered up.
All seems to be okay, so we'll turn everything off. Where's my keys? Oh, they're inside of there. Just lock it for us. There we go. You are technically supposed to take out your battery. Or unplug your... Is it the negative one you're supposed to unplug?
Yeah, it shouldn't matter too much though, because you just you're not actually cutting into cables or anything. So, right, so we'll leave the wiring loom plugged in now. That's sort of done. In a minute, we'll have to try and get it to tuck behind here, although it does seem quite cavernous, so we're all right. So the next thing, there's 2 Torx screws underneath the screen that need to come out. So when I rediscover where I put the screwdriver, have you got it still? Hidden it under the stereo. And this is the exciting bit.
Oh yeah.
Looks so cool.
This is when we find out it doesn't actually fit.
Yeah, this could end up being a really short video.
Yeah. Change your title totally to it doesn't fit.
10-inch screen
your
doesn't
beam.
fit E3. E30.
Yeah.
There you go. Alright, and there should be a little bit of slack on there. And then on the back of this. So just push that pin. It should come out.
What's that? Is there a pin?
No, yeah, just a release catch. Come on, there we go. Right, so that's the old screen gun. We don't need this anymore, right?
Yeah. Let's have a look. So that's a big difference.
It's, yeah, is the... Yeah, okay. So, I assume that can...
Yeah, there's a space for that. I assume that's that bit
isn't
there.
it? Yeah.
But now I'm just curious of...
Just do a test fit, see if it... Just pull it out of the way.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that does look well, doesn't it?
Job done, that's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, cool. Thanks for coming.
Right.
Right.
So, this is where we need the other wires as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so, well, we need to send this up to here, don't we? Because it plugs into the screen.
Yeah.
So, which way does this one go? And we'll follow it. It's just there. So on the left, sorry. So I was saying on the left hand side, there's just a hole that you can come up by the side of the vents. Pull that through.
Because I didn't want to jinx it, but when I've done cars in past, there seems to be a lot more room than usual, to be honest.
Yeah, I remember in the old days, edge unit installs and fighting with the stereo as it's pushing itself back out again.
Yeah,
Cables.
in the old Vauxhall Nova.
Right. Right.
This is where...
What else plugs into there? So you've got the 3G antenna and everything, haven't you, as well? So
Yep, and the SIM card. So...
what we're probably best doing with them before fitting the screen is like your GPS antenna. We need to run the cable and present it to here.
Good idea.
Yeah. So we test fit the screen actually fits now. What we need to do is with this kit there is a GPS antenna and there's also a 4G antenna. So the GPS antenna will usually go somewhere on your windscreen. So what we'll probably do here is go right down the driver's A pillar and through the dashboard and find our way out of here. The instructions for this kit say that the 4G antenna can go in the glove box. I had a look at the glove box earlier and on the left hand side there is a hole that we might be able to feed the antenna through and somehow get to here. What we're going to fit the antenna up on the windscreen. The cable's going to run through your head lining and down your A pillar into under the driver's steering wheel and hopefully come out somewhere around here. whenever you're removing air pillars, you always must be careful, because there's generally, in newer cars, there's airbags. But you always start with pulling the seal off. So if you just pull the rubber down, and it will just come out with a little bit of force. And that's that done. And then what you can do, you can just look behind, and I can see the airbags and everything in here now. Some cars, they have torque screws in, but this one looks like it's okay, so it should just come off with a little bit of TLC. There we go. Looks. There we go. Right. This off, and then that's just. So these sometimes just pop off. I've had this loads of times in other cars. So that's your air pillar off. Turns out there's no airbag in this one. It was what I was seeing was the plastic from the inside. It just looked like an airbag. So your airbag's up here. Look. Oh, yeah. So luckily enough, there's a wiring loom up here, so it actually gives us somewhere to follow. So what we'll do is get the antenna, and you want to put it sort of in the middle-ish somewhere, so it's looking at the centre of the car in the sky. The adhesive backing, so you just fight with the red colour. That. That's just the edge of the window. You know, I think they usually to cover up any imperfections and things like that, because it's not an aerial or anything like that. Ah. Yeah. So we'll just pop that in there. And that's where that lives now. And then when you're going on the headline, you can usually just tuck the cable up underneath and bring it down. Now, if you're using this on a newer model maybe and there is an airbag here, always ensure cables go behind the airbag, not in front. The last thing you want is when your airbag goes off, is to get a face full of cable. I'm hoping this is going to be long enough. So it might be an idea when you're doing this is not to stick on that just yet until you know it's long enough. But I'm sure it will. Yeah. So I'm just going to drop that in there. And then find it. This is where working in the UK sucks, because it's chucking it down. And now I'm outside. So I beg to differ. I think the cameraman does alright in situations like this. Yeah. Right. So there is a panel under here which I'm going to have to take off. Right. So yeah. So there's a couple of bolts under here, and they are just standard 10 mils. So let me just attach that to my screwdriver. And just undo this. Right, so I've got those two bolts out now. There was just one at the left and the right hand side, and then underneath the steering wheel, if you just get your finger underneath this flap, it's already coming out now, just run it down, and that will get us the access that we need. I don't think I need to take it fully out. I'll just take off my watch so I can get my hand in there. Oh. Awesome. Right, so we'll just pull this tight. Before I move on with getting the cable there, we'll just sort of tidy this up a little bit. So if we got some tape. Sorry about the blue tape, mate. I was just thinking I won't even tape it because I'm a bit of a cowboy, to be fair. You like your tidiness, so this is the right way to do it. Maybe I'll do one after we... After to come around and take all the tape off. It's done now. How to do it with the minimum effort possible. Yeah. But yeah, until I've figured out what's going on down here. Okay. So we should just come straight across. My hand will appear, or the cable will appear somewhere in here. Pull it through. That's a bit short.
Is that because that needs to be across?
We could put it over there if you want.
Yeah, I would do.
So
This is not where it lives.
You could stop here if you like, while I move it, in case anything horrible goes wrong.
Oh, we just keep on going.
That's not, there we go. Not had time to get So what you do, you don't tape things up and you be a cowboy. So you can move stuff.
There we go, that should be plenty close enough.
Yeah. I'll leave it dangling until I've got the pillar back on, because it might be there somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm learning from my mistakes.
Oh, the viewers are?
Yeah. I'm suffering for my mistakes. So, oh, no, not that one. That one. Okay.
That's plenty long enough now.
Yeah, so we should better just send that up the same path that we did the other one. And up at the centre. And up at the centre.
And at the centre.
There we go. That is one GPS antenna gone. What we'll do is just make sure it's tucked out the way and it's not going to get in the way of this stereo as it gets put back in. Okay, right, let's put the pillar back on now, and that's that bit done. So that should just feed in. So there's these tabs here, and you can't see them on camera, but there is two little slits that they sort of slot into.
Although you can see how dirty my A pillars are. What A pillar is? Is he the one a B pillar then? Is he the one a B pillar?
No. A, B, C, front to back. There you go, you've learnt something. Mission complete.
Yep, let's go home.
This. Brute force and ignorance. We'll go back on. Stick that there. Make sure it's on. Then you just push the seal back on, and as you're pushing it on, you just get your finger behind the lip. The seal. It's been a bit.
Looking good.
Awesome. Right, so we're just going to put the understeering wheel cover on, so it just pops back on. Literally the reverse of what you've just done, if it wants to. There you go. Bolt back in. Right. Next bit you want is the audio antenna, which is your side. Yeah, so when I was looking earlier, as I mentioned before, there is on the left hand side a hole that we can probably use. I don't know if you can see it in the light. Yeah, so it's in the centre of the screen now. So I don't know if you can see it, Steve, it's the top left hand corner, there's a square hole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so what I would do is pull your cable through there, and then obviously it's going to come this way.
We're taking the glove box off then?
We might have to take the bottom panel out like we did at the driver's side, or we can take the glove box out. It's only a few screws by the looks of it.
Probably go with that.
Yeah. So we're just checking underneath now. It looks like the glove box is secured somewhere else, so we're going to take the panel off at the bottom. It's essentially the exact same sort of panel as we did on the driver's side, so we'll skip over this bit. It's that centre bit there, you can see it pulling there where you just put your thumb. So I wonder if it's just got a clip in it and it just needs a bit of...
I don't think so. Can we do this without?
You might be able to get to it.
I don't know. Let's give it a go. So, if this is going to work how we go, there's a small hole in the back, and we're going to try.
I can get my hands through there. It's my hands here now.
Hopefully, I've got enough in. I'm not holding hands. There we go.
You got it?
Yeah, so I've managed to open it just enough to get my hand in and pull the cable and then lose it. Hopefully this is the right cable.
There we go. Pass that to...
The only problem you've got is because it's got a bit of a lip on it, that it gets caught. That's that side, so that means... There we go. That's what we're looking for.
Oh, I've got it. Pull that cable through now.
So, one of the other things to think about, I suppose, is the USB cables. Do we run it through the same place and leave them in the glove box?
Yeah. Sounds good to me. Yeah.
Oh, I think it's in both.
So, the antenna has an adhesive backing on it, but the glove box is obviously like a forks lining, so that's not going to stick to it. But we've noticed there's a tiny little net just underneath, and because it's quite light, just stick it in there. Nice and out of the way, push it towards the back. Job done. And we'll put the glove box back now and just do the reverse. And even though wasn't me that did it, I will figure it out as I go along.
You can watch my video if you want me to play it back to you.
Yeah, I know I've got a good site where I can figure out how to do it. Yeah. Right, so we're at the stage now where we're ready to plug the cables in. So we've got all the various cables up here. So the 4G antenna is not in the right place yet. So we'll just bring that up there. And what we'll do, we'll just line that up. Turn it up. Tuck that under that vent. So you just need to make sure none of your cables obviously go in front of any of these vents or anything, and not to push these out of the way because they are for the hazard warning switch, etc. Right, so now we're ready to plug the cables into the unit. So what have we got first? So that is the GPS antenna, and that just blue to blue there. So it should just clip on.
See, most of these should only fit
in the socket. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. You've got the SIM card slot there. So I'll just drop that in. Oh, you say that, these two sockets are the same. So the SIM one and that one are actually identical. So
make sure you read
we shall read
labels.
this. So that's the USB socket. So that must go in that socket there. This, put that one in last because it's quite thick, is that 4G antenna goes on and then screws in. If you've got little fingers, you'll find this a lot easier than me. Okay, that's that down. Then this is the SIM card one. So I'll just pop that in the socket. That's in there. Then this is the original cable that went to the original screen, which will fit in there. Just see if we've got. Right, hang on.
We know where that goes.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. What we're gonna do after move that, because it's out. The cable's not long enough. Just give us a bit. There we go. So that plugs in there like that, and then finally this loop. There's a lot of cables here. I can't see. This does not. There we go. Right. Let me adjust myself. Okay, so now obviously we've got to try and bring all these cables back through, because there is not a lot of room at the top of this unit at all.
Do we want to turn it on now before we put loads of effort in, or are you confident?
I'm quite confident. Oh yeah, we can do a final test before we put it in. What do you got? Remote control, no engine start.
Is it door?
Is it 'cause it's just not close enough?
Yeah.
Oh, there. So you see your original screens come up.
Excellent. And that's by using the iDrive down at the bottom?
Yeah. Awesome. Should you try radio or something like that?
I turned the volume down.
You did. Is it this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's working.
Okay, so... yeah, looking good.
Cool.
Right, we will mess about with that in another video. So yeah, good to go. So we'll turn it off.
So, I'm trying to pull this all forward again. Let's pull these cables down. Hopefully. I'll actually fit. It's the big loom at the back. That's the problem. Right, so the screen's now in. Sorry for the cut there. It looked like the screws didn't line up properly, so we were just double checking. It turned out the cable at the back was just stopping it from dropping. So we are now good to put these torque screws back in. The screwdriver is down by your feet. It looks like because of the amount of cables that are in there, it's pushing itself back up a bit. So we'll just hold it down while we get the screws in. So it looks pretty sweet. It does look well. Right, so that's now in. Now, obviously, the problem we've got now is there's a lot of cables being pulled through, so I just want to make sure nothing's in the way for when we put the other panel back. So that should be going down there. So I've just essentially just tucking cables out of the way, making sure there is no blockages whatsoever. There we go, all nice and neat. Job done. So at that point we can probably put the factory head unit back in. Now, on another video that I saw, this was a pain in the ass because you've introduced a hell of a lot of new plastic from that new wiring loom. But there is at the back here quite a large gap. There we go. So it's just essentially using both hands to make sure the cables are in the way. And she's on. No, not again.
There he goes again. So I suppose one thing to mention is that I think if you've got the GPS module and all that lot, this down at the bottom is more filled in, I think.
Oh, you mean the BMW extras?
Yeah, because that's the entry model one. It doesn't even have Bluetooth, which is just a disgrace, but we won't get into that.
That's the point of this, isn't it? Screw. Just pop this back in here, so that cable just needs to be guided up through. You can see it's now blocked the vent, so we'll have to address that in a minute. I don't know what I picked up there, but it wasn't a screw.
I think you need some magnetic gloves.
A magnetic screwdriver would be good. I'll just get these screwed in and we'll be right back. Right, so we've got all the original paneling back on now. All we've got to do now is put this little panel back in here, which just clipped in, and then the heat event cover. What I'll do though, before we do that, because we've pushed cables and whatnot, we'll just do one more, make sure everything turns on. It does. Happy days. This is all working.
It's parked. Seat belt.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Your lights as well. Oh yeah, it's on your lights on. That's awesome. I'm jealous.
let me do the most important bit.
Happy days.
So that's job done. We'll be doing another video once we've worked out exactly what this can do. A lot of this will probably leave in a couple of the trouble spots, because that's the whole point of this, is to show you, any amateurs who are doing it, how easy or difficult it is. To be fair, it wasn't that bad, was it?
No. The glove box was the worst thing, I reckon. Everything else is pretty straightforward. So.
Yeah, I've done a lot of my other cars. That's been a lot more difficult, to be honest. So, yeah, I think it's gone all right. Touch wood.
Awesome.
So, thank you for watching.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
And give us a subscribe. Hold on, you got to get him to subscribe. Click on the subscribe button and like. And if you've got any comments, good or bad, then just put them down. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Thanks very much.